Hey everyone, Kyle here at Rocky Mountain Fly Shop, back again with another fly tying video. This week we're going to be tying up the Predator bait fiber minnow with a new product from Textreme. I've been working with it over the last few weeks and I'm in love with it, and it's called their Predator bait fibers. So I fish these a lot as a trailer pattern, typically behind an articulated streamer, but they fish just as well on their own too. So the Predator bait fibers come in a variety of different colors, and the movement in the water on these guys is just crazy. So the Predator bait fiber is a great alternative to ever so popular Kreelex Flash Material. And yeah, today we're gonna show you what the Predator bait fiber is all about. Alright, let's get this fly started. So to start off today, we're going to be using a Mustad R75 AP Roar Streamer extra large in a size 6. And for a thread today, we're going to be using the Body Fly in UV Pink 170 denier from Textreme. This is a new product from Textreme that I've been using a lot of lately, and it's basically like a flashy thread. And it's a wicked one for these Predator bait fiber minnows. I've really been liking how this material has been turning out. So we'll bring that thread wrap all the way back to the barb of the hook there, and then we'll bring it all the way back up to the eye of the hook again, laying down a nice even thread body here. So once we get to the eye, we'll turn it around and bring it back just a bit there. Then our next material, we're going to be using lead dumbbell eyes in fluorescent pink, size medium from Wapsi. So how I like to lay these out is what I'll do is I'll bring my dumbbell eye in, line it up with the hook eye there, and then that there will give me my distance that I want to set my dumbbell eyes in. So then I'll bring them back here, and then I'll give it a couple wraps just to keep it in place, just like so. Do a couple more, and then whenever you're working with dumbbell eyes, what you'll notice is your hook shank will always be more narrow than the gap in between the dumbbell eyes there, and then what happens is you'll be left with a gap on either side of the eye there. So what I like to do to keep it nice and tight and everything together is I'll come in with some figure eights. So how I'll do that is I'll come in, go around, just like so, and I'll repeat that a few times there. So bring that back up, and I'll repeat that a few times, just filling in that gap so then our dumbbell eyes don't want to slip either way. So once we've done that, our figure eights, we'll come in, lay down a couple more thread wraps either way, secure those wraps in place. And then the next thing I like to do on mine is I will come in, and what I'll do is I'll lay a thread wrap in front of the dumbbell eyes like so, and then I'll come in behind the dumbbell eyes and do the same thing. So what I'm doing there is I'm locking these eyes into place here so that they can't move back the shank or up the shank. So once we do that and we've got those locked in, we'll give it a few more wraps just to make sure it's all in place. And then what I like to do on mine is I'll flip it down and I'll apply some UV resin. So today I'm going to be using the Solarez Bone Dry. Any super glue or any UV adhesive will work perfect for this. And basically what we're doing here is just locking these eyes in, making sure that they don't go anywhere. Just makes for a more durable fly. So what we'll do, come in, lay a bit of that down there, and we'll grab our UV light. I like to hit this between 5 and 10 seconds, just moving it around a bit to make sure we get the light on all parts of the adhesive that we just put on. Just like so. So now that our dumbbell eyes are put into place, we're ready for our next material. So the next material that we're going to be using today is the Predator bait fiber in fluorescent red and pearl from Textreme. So what I like to do is I'll come in, grab my material there, and I'm looking to get a piece just about half the width of a pencil. So we'll come in and we'll grab that just like so. We'll cut it down close to the bottom. So we've got our materials there like that. And what I like to do is I'll find the middle of our materials roughly, and I'll lay the middle right behind those dumbbell eyes where our thread is, and I'll give that a couple wraps just to hold it in place there for now. Then I'll come grab all our front materials. And what I'll do is I'll pull them all nice and tight so that way we don't have any stragglers or anything out. So we want it to look like that. We'll pull it down over those dumbbells, grabbing our thread, and give that 2 or 3 wraps just to hold it in place in front of the dumbbell eyes. Just like so. So now we're left with that. So then what we'll do is we'll grab all our back material, pull it all nice and tight together so there's no stragglers, bring our thread back, and then what I like to do is just give a few wraps here just to get the material in place of where I want it. Bringing that thread all the way back to the barb on the hook shank there. Since we get back there, then I'll start to lay my body wraps all the way back up to the dumbbells again. Nice wraps, connecting, touching the thread on each wrap just to give a nice even body. So we'll continue that all the way up to the dumbbell eyes. And you can see this is why I really like this body material from Textreme. It just leaves a nice flash where your thread base would be. Just adds more flash. So once we get up to the dumbbell eyes there, what I like to do is I'll grab all my material here. And what we're looking for here is we're going to cut off our tail. So what we want is we want whatever size hook you're using, we want to cut off the same hook shank length off the material of the back. So if you have a Norvise, it works out with these size 6 Roar Streamers XLs that if you find that mark right there, you just come up and snip it off just like so. And that's a hook shank's length behind the fly. So then what we want to do is grab our front material here. What I like to do with mine is I'll just come to the front and give it a few more wraps just up towards the front of the eye there. Just like so. And I'll come to the back again. And basically what that does is when I fold my materials back over, it's already started the nose of my fly there. So I'll grab those, make sure they're all tight, no stragglers again, and I'll fold it down over the dumbbell eyes, securing it behind the eyes with a few wraps, just like so. I'll bring my thread up to the front of the fly. And then the same thing on this here bit of material, we want to cut it roughly a hook shank in length. So we'll come back just a bit right there, snip off our materials. So when we're tying on dumbbell eyes or any weighted eyes, you notice how we have the eyes on the top part of the hook. So the weight of the fly will go to the bottom. So this here is how the hook will ride in the water. So this here is actually the belly of the fly that we just created then. So now we're going to create the back to our fly. So for that, what we need to do is we'll come in, grab some more of our predator bait fibers. And what we're looking for here is about half the size of the piece that we grabbed before. So we're looking for about the quarter inch diameter pencil. So we'll come in, grab that. We'll snip it off down close, just like so. And then same as before, what we're going to do is find the middle of our materials we just cut off, and we're going to line them up right up here where our thread's left off to. What we want to do is, there's actually 2 ways that you can put in this last bit of material that we're going to put in. So one way that you can do it is you would take your thread like this, and you grab your material and you could wrap it around your fly like that, or around your thread, sorry. Then you bring it up and you continue to tie it in like that. That works, but when you do that, what happens is all the materials want to go up to the eye right there, up really close to the eye. So then it leaves a gap at the hook eye there. And what happens then is we need to use a lot of thread to build up a big head on the fly. So to get away from that, what I like to do is I'll come in, lay my material half out on the fly like so. I'll grab my thread and just give it a couple wraps to get it in place there, just like so. And then I'll bring my thread just up to the eye a little bit there. So we'll make some more wraps up towards the eye, just like so. We'll grab all our materials, make sure they're all together, And we'll grab both of them, put them together, make sure they're all nice and tight. That's when we'll fold them back like so. And what you'll notice is this here actually created the head for us. So now all we have to do is take our thread, secure all of our material in place there, just like so. Give a nice even wraps all the way to the eye, a few more back. So then we've got our head. So what we want to do then is grab this material, and we want to line it up with the bottom material on the fly here, so it's cut off the same length. So we'll just line that up, come in with our scissors, snip off. And there we go. So now what we want to do is just make sure we got all nice even wraps on our head there, just like so. And then we're ready for our whip finisher. So we'll grab our whip finish tool, come in, and we'll give this about 3 or 4 turns, nothing crazy, because we are going to finish this fly with some UV resin. So we got our whip finish, just like that. Pull it tight, come in, snip off that excess there. So for our head today, we're going to be using the UV fly finish from Loon in hot pink. So what you want to do, we've already made our head, so basically we just want a thin layer just to cover everything up and give a nice clean finish on our head there. So come in, just laying out some very lightly, just coat it all just enough. We're not trying to build any bulk here on the head, just want to give it a nice cover there, just like so. So then what I like to do before I hit it with the UV light is I'll just flick it around a bit, make sure I've got everywhere, make sure that it's all laying out nice and even. And I'll come in with my UV light. I like to give it 5 to 10 seconds, spin it around a bit, and just make sure you get everything there with the light. Just like so. So now what I like to do is I'll take my fly actually out of the vise real quick, and it helps if you wet down your fingers a little bit there, and then you can just bring all the fibers back just like so, and we'll lay it back in the vise just like so. So this is how I like to do my predator bait fiber minnows or Kreelex minnow, anything like that. I like to leave my materials here back longer, like I said earlier, a hook shank in length. The reason I like to do that is it just gives a bigger profile on the fly. Commercially tied, this is how they would do it. So what they would do is they would have their materials cut off at the back of the hook shank right there, or half of a hook shank in length. So what we'll do is we'll come back and just snip that off just back behind the hook shank like so. And what happens when we cut off these fibers this way is it actually causes them to come up in the air a bit more, versus whenever we leave them a bit longer like this, they'll actually want to fold down to the fly a bit more. So then we'll flip it around like that, and then all we want to do is just match up these fibers with the ones that we just cut. So just line it up there, and there you go. That's the commercial profile on them. I'll just grab it out of the vise there and smooth it out a bit. Smooth out those materials, pulling it back, and we'll set it back in the vise. And there you have it, predator bait fiber minnow. Thanks for watching, guys.